Tete.
And with Valentine
And we
Tega.
and don't
And
be introducing
with
Tega just like that or with 36 just like that.
Don't worry, we'll be suspending from locker room.
Let's.
All right, well,
Drum
Tega
roll.
has done the introduction. So we have the one, the only ladies in sports founder, Tega Supreme.
Good morning, Lagos.
Seriously.
And of course, we have the boxer himself. I learned something new today. Boxer, sports aficionado,
Uncle Boo Boo
excellent
himself.
See,
statistics.
this first started with me stealing noodles. Now I'm being branded in. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Good to be
morning.
here.
And of course, we have you. So if you'd like to join the conversation, please send your messages to WhatsApp or Twitter. And we're also streaming live on YouTube.
Our WhatsApp number is 0809 Our YouTube link is youtube.com/smooth981fm Lagos. On Twitter, we're at smooth981fm. The hashtag is lockerroom981.
Okay, let's go on to our first story. We did tease this earlier on, and we that we will probably take this story during the locker room. Sad news here: Ifeanyi Chiejine, ex Super Falcons player, dies at 36. So former Super Falcons of Nigeria player Ifeanyi Chiejine is dead. According to the Nigeria Football Federation, she died on Wednesday following a brief illness. A statement on the Twitter handle of the Federation reads, and I quote, "We are sad to announce the sudden demise of former Nigerian Super Falcons player Ifeanyi Chukwu Chiejene, who passed on after a brief illness on Wednesday, 21st August 2019. Ifeanyi captained the first set of the under-19 national women's team to the first under-19, now under-20, at the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2002.
Yes, so if I changing it, one of the names that was supposed to really blow up the Super Falcons at some point in time. The stories about how her career just nosedived at the end of the day, but she was still an important person on the Super Falcons team as a player and later on even as a pundit and just around the team. But it's a sad loss for Nigeria. Yesterday, I think it was just too much bad news because Ifeanyi passed and then Junior Google passed and his death was also announced. It was just a huge loss. I think with Junior Gogo, those people that followed the story, you knew he had a stroke in 2015.
Yeah.
So it's not, and he just never recovered. So it was one thing to another. But Ifeanyi's own came out of the blues, and that's it. But we pray that God grants the family the grace to bear the loss. And the NFF know about it, and I hope that they do the needful when it comes to her burial rights and every other thing. But sad news.
Very fun. President of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, NYCN, Mr. Bello Bala Shagari, has expressed confidence that the new Minister of Sports and Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Sunday Dare, would save the NYCN from what he described as political interference. In his words, he expressed the sentiment as saying, "The appointment of Honorable Sunday Dare came without anticipation, but with full satisfaction because we know that he's fully equipped and experienced to do the job successfully. We expect that the new minister will peacefully resolve the problems surrounding the NYCN, especially its fractionalization, and save it from overaged men and political hijackers who have continued to invest in the disunity of the Nigerian youth for years." Sob.
Well, okay. So, as far as I know, in terms of his experience, I know the current new Minister for Youth and Sport, is a journalist of experience. I know that he's got a master's degree, I think, in international law and diplomacy.
Okay.
So hopefully a measure of refinement and finesse when we look at the very low bar that was set by the erstwhile minister with the red beret, a favorite red beret ex-minister. Look, in terms the sporting sector over the years, perhaps bar the periods where we had military governments, has not really been blessed with the best in terms of sports ministers. Now, at the risk of saying that perhaps it's a reflection of the fact that successive governments have never really viewed sports or the sporting side of things from a prism of the potential that it has, vis-a-vis youth development and an avenue for commercialization and benefits for the youths. Hopefully, let us just hope that there will be less chaos, less scandal, and less negativity around the sporting sectors that will be within his portfolio. He has a unique opportunity to balance and develop a nexus between youth development and the opportunities that sport provides to engage the youth. And if he gets it right, we will probably be a little bit better than where we are, which is simply the doldrums at the moment. So let's see how it goes for him.
I'm not hopeful. He's same of same.
We can only
It's just
hope.
that they will save some weight for now.
We just hope that he will not be as bad as the last guy.
Thank you.
No. He cannot be as bad as the last guy. No. In
Tega,
terms of
this
no,
is-
he
okay.
cannot be as
Let's
bad
go.
as the last guy
Okay.
because of his exposure and education, which is why I say he cannot be when it comes to
The other
delivering
guy
stuff.
was an exposed lawyer.
No.
I just
That guy
laughed
was
at
not
this.
I think
exposed.
that
though.
guy's
That-
referring to expression.
That guy was not exposed though. He was not exposed to anything but
He knew
hunting.
he
Nothing.
knew the law.
Which law?
He knew the law.
The fact that he passed law school doesn't mean he knows the law.
He said it himself. He said,
Like,
"I
I
know
felt that
the
one
law."
in my bones.
I'm telling you, that we
I
have.
don't, but I'm only saying what he said.
No, I'm just telling you what we know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, he can't be worse off when it comes to expression, handling cases in the media, and he can't be worse. Dalong was a very, very low. In fact, he was a no bar.
Which is what brutalistic
he-
meant when he said
It was a
finesse.
no bar. But when it comes to the competence of the sector, he is still going to meet the same roadblocks.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
because it's not just him. There's each federation has its own devil and ancestral spirit that needs to be dealt with. And I think that's where the larger problem is. So I'm not hopeful if he comes in and by virtue of Fone, he can negotiate and navigate and sort out the problems maybe in the NBBF so that people will not be fighting, or with the NFF so that people are not taking the NFF to court every single day, or something, or with athletics where the technical director and the athletes are not fighting each other. If he can somehow come in and wade in and sort out all those family problems, I'd be impressed. But as it is, I have zero expectations. Zero.
Okay, all right. Tega being so optimistic about
Yeah,
the future.
we can feel it. We can feel it, can't we? Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's go on to our next story. Christian Coleman under investigation for 3 alleged missed drug tests. So American sprinter Christian Coleman is under investigation over concerns he may have missed 3 drug tests. If found guilty, he would face an automatic 1-year ban and would miss the World Championships in Qatar and the Olympic Games in Tokyo next year. He's alleged to have had 3 possible failures under the whereabouts system in the last 1 year.
Okay, so the whereabouts system is simply this: that every day for 1 hour, the guys that are checking your doping and or must know where you are every day.
Wow.
Yes, they are your daddy. They are the
What's the
They are the Francolese of sports. As long as you're here, it's 9 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
It's not different from house arrest.
That's what it is. So if you're an active athlete, for 1 hour every day they must know where you are. This guy knows the law. This guy set the fastest time this season in 100 meters. Every athlete knows. They tell you. As soon as you pick up that form and say, I want to be an athlete.
Or does his lawyer wear red
Sorry,
beret?
but
Just
what's the difference between what they are
No,
saying and then
no, they
putting
have
an
to-
ankle bracelet in something?
No, they're not putting an ankle bracelet. Just for 1 hour, tell them where you are. It's not, you can be any, they didn't say you shouldn't go anywhere. They just say, let us
So
know
you
where
keep
you
a
are.
log of your daily
So
activities per
for,
hour.
for 1 hour, 1 hour,
Okay.
not every single day.
Oh, all right.
So
okay.
the least you can do, at my mommy used to say this thing when she used to tell when you're going out. She's not saying you shouldn't go out. Just write the name and the number of the person. In the 80s, it was the name, the house address, and the landline number. Put it on the fridge so we know where to find you. She did not say don't go out. Just let us know where you're going to.
Yes, and that's fair enough.
And it's that simple. And that's what it is. And you know that there's world championships. You know that there's the Olympics coming up. The least you can do, at least for this period, let your stubbornness just hide. This kind of breaking the law like this, I think Cristiano Ronaldo has done it, and she was suspended for 1 year. So the question you ask yourself is, do I want to be suspended for 1 year as a young thriving man who looks like he's going to be with Usain Bolt retiring, Justin Gatlin on his last legs? Do I mean I look like the next guy that will take over? All of a sudden, you're now 3, not 1, 3, my friend.
I think the only part I don't understand about the story is where I say may have missed. He either missed or he didn't. Which one is me?
He missed. He's contesting one of them that is not yet 3.
Perhaps I sent a text.
Yeah, he's saying I missed. I'm sure I missed 2, but that third one, I didn't
I'm
miss
not sure.
it. It's not me. I must have said, Did you check your WhatsApp message?
2 is as bad
But
as
you people
3.
should be fair now. Sometimes don't you forget to take your medicine? And you now be wondering, did I take that?
No, there are no
But when the
see.
malaria hits you,
There are no
nobody will tell you.
consequences of that for your career. It's for your health. You can decide that I'll take sick leave. But this one, he knows what it is. 3 strikes, which is why he's contesting 1, so that by virtue of that one, he will still have wiggle room. He should have known
how it's
better.
coined. Whereabouts? Serena Williams is in the news. She will play Maria Sharapova in the first round of the United States Open at Flushing Meadows in New York. And Novak Djokovic begins his title defense against Spaniard Roberto Carlos Berna, while the 2018 women's champion Naomi Osaka plays Anna Blinkova of Russia. Elsewhere in the men's draw, Spain's Rafael Nadal will play Australian John Millman, while 20-time Grand Slam champion Roger Federer will face a qualifier. In the women's draw, 15-year-old Coco Gauff will play Russia's Anastasia Potapova. Meanwhile, Wimbledon champion Simona Halep will take on a qualifier.
Okay, let me tell you what this US Open people did. They decided that since we are in the US, let's do Hollywood movies. Because these are blockbusters. Nadal Millman is a tough first round match for anybody. He shouldn't be having to play somebody that tough. It's not like he can't beat the guy. It's just that the guy will make you work for it. He knows he's going to lose.
Oh, Rafael.
John Millman
Millman,
knows he's going to lose, but he wants you to work for that victory you're going to get. So it's a tough one for him. For Serena Williams, Maria Sharapova, my goodness. There's so many angles to this story. I don't even know where to write it.
Grunts easily come to mind.
The grunt is even very far. It's the story of this may be, just maybe, the opportunity for Sharapova to take down Serena Williams. Serena Williams is coming off a back injury, struggling with the knee injury. So she's not, in as much as her body is fit, she's not. I don't think she'd be ready for competition. Remember, she drew out of Cincinnati last week, and then the tournament is starting next week. So it's a really tough draw. But if Maria Sharapova comes on court and pulls this rabbit out of a hat, this one is not rabbit, and pulls this
antelope
is small.
Elephant.
Pulls this elephant out of a face cap. You don't want to know what the news will come about, because they've been saying rivalry, and it's not been a rivalry. It's been an absolute one-sided beatdown.
But if 19-2.
Yes, but if she comes out of this, and the 2 was before
before they figured out her grunt.
So you can imagine if she pulls this one out, what the media will turn this into. So that's a big blockbuster. On one hand. But also in the men's on going down, Novak Djokovic and Federer are in the same draw. So it means that they will, if they win all their matches, they will face each other in the semifinals. So there'll be, and if Nadal wins all his matches, then it will be Novak Djokovic and Federer facing each other in semifinals, and then going on to face Rafa Nadal in the final. I love US Open.
I love it.
They're very smart. Make tennis interesting. We're excited. And when does it start?
It's this Sunday.
This Sunday. All right. Okay, Lagos, we're still here. We're not going anywhere up until Sunday and later today. But we'll go on the break. When we come back, locker rooms continues.
Is it this Sunday or this Monday? Sunday is this
Is it
qualifiers,
Sunday?
Abi?
Yeah, qualifiers. I think it starts on Monday.
Then on
Oh, it
Monday.
starts on Monday.
Yeah. Monday, proper people are playing.
Oh, so there's some people that qualify automatically.
Yes,
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So then others have to qualify for the
Yeah.
main.
So what are the what's the
It's your ranking.
criteria?
It's your ranking.
Oh, but what is Serena rank?
Right now, is she 10th? She was 10th last time I saw her, but she
Okay.
didn't play in Cincinnati. She didn't play in Cincinnati, and the women's draw is a bit close, so I don't know where she
Okay.
is. But she was top 10.
So is it
last time.
top 10 people that go on automatically?
No, top 30 are no,
Uh.
top 50 safe.
Uh,
Because top 30 are automatically ranked,
Yeah.
then others, then the qualifiers. Oh, I can't even remember.
the qualifiers, did they get anywhere? Okay, we'll come back actually.
They get anyway. They play each other.
Oh, okay. Thank you. This is Lagos, the locker room 981, Smooth 98.1 with Ayo Mairese.
And Valentine. And Ojo sent in a message on WhatsApp. Ojo says, let's be hopeful on the new minister. The same way we were hopeful on that long. Very funny.
I don't know if it was the tongue in cheek comment.
Jimobi Victor from Alaba International says, may the gentle soul of Ifeanyi Chukwuchie Jinashri put on that green, white, green jersey for Nigeria. He continues to say, please, Tega, I am begging you to be hopeful because this new sports minister will do far better than that Red Beret Dalong who kept disgracing whenever he was on an interview.
Yeah.
He repeated the same message.
All right.
Cruz says, will Sharapova write another book after the match with
We'll wait. Okay, so now calling all Arsenal fans, please come closer to your radio set or to your device. How many of us remember the 5-1 trashing of December? Well,
the only?
Matteo Guendouzi feels Arsenal are in a much better position to face Liverpool at Anfield than when that happened in December. So that encounter ended in a 5-1 thrashing for Unai Emery's side as a Roberto Firmino hat-trick saw Liverpool go 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Now, according to Guendouzi, he says last year was not our finest hour, but it's very different to last season. It's a new game and new team, so I don't see why it would be the same result. Hopeful?
Let me tell him why it could be that. Look, Arsenal had to all intents and purposes, they had a fantastic transfer window, brought in quite a few players. That's the upside. The downside to that, and I cast my mind back to an interview that Arsene Wenger did one time where he said he doesn't believe in bringing in 5, 6, 7 players at once because it's difficult to work out a balance and that transition in the team. Currently, I think that is what Unai Emery is trying to work out, trying to balance and bed in these new players in the first team. So when you haven't worked out your rhythm, your balance, going to Anfield, of all places, that isn't always a good thing. And when you look at the first 2 games that Arsenal have played against Newcastle and I think against Burnley, defensively and in the midfield, you still get the sense that they haven't gotten that balance right. And what Liverpool is very good at is dominating the midfield, pressing, and their transition, the ball transition always tends to bamboozle the Arsenal team. So this could end quite badly. It's not a case of, you would hope that it wouldn't be as embarrassing as a 5-1.
Yeah.
You would hope that tactically they will set up, at least at the very minimum, not to lose, walk away with the point. That would be a respectable performance. Don't try and play Liverpool as aggressively as you think that you can go there and get 3 points. They will hurt you, and they will hurt you badly.
Says Brutalistic.
The messages still come to WhatsApp 0809 4440981. Also here says hashtag Arsenal, we are here. Romelu Lukaku has criticized the handling of his exit from Manchester United, saying they consider us dumb, but we know who is doing it. Lukaku says, a lot of stuff have been said where I do not feel protected. I felt like a lot of rumors, Rom going there, they don't want Rom, and nobody came out to shut it down. It was good for a good 3-4 weeks. I'm waiting for someone to come out and shut it down. It didn't happen. It was all, he's got to go, he doesn't deserve. Well, okay, then I want to go now. There's fighting for a position, but also being somewhere that people want you to be. If you're happy, you find a way. It doesn't matter if you're on the bench or starting, but nobody told me that was the situation. So I thought for 2-3 weeks to analyze, see all this ish coming out of the media. Who leaks it? Not me, not my agents. I see it on my phone come out of nowhere. Seems like he's thinking aloud.
No, well, they're
This
asking
is how he
him.
talks,
They're
eh?
asking him if he was trying to force a move.
Mm,
This is an interview,
yeah.
and they're talking about so who leaked about you leaving Manchester United. He was like, I don't know, because for 3 weeks I just kept saying things in the media
Mhm.
that I did not leak.
Mhm.
My agent did not leak.
So where is it
So
coming
who is the leaker?
from?
So
There's a leakage.
there's a leakage. There's a leakage. That's it. So, but what it is he's simply trying to make a point. Nobody came out to tell him, okay, Lukaku, we want you here, but we just want you to do better. It didn't happen like that. He came into the media one day and different people were analyzing his first touch, last touch, or no touch at all. His goal scoring form. Some people even extended it to his weight. So so he he's so in his mind he's sitting in his house thinking I had a bad end to last season. I want to start a fresh this season. What am I going to do? And this is all that keeps coming out. And normally for a player that a club wants, they'd come try to protect their player. Oh, he went through a rough patch, but everybody goes through it. We'll work together. This is a new season, and it can turn out better. But nobody, according to him, came out in the defense. Well, nobody that even I too saw. So I think myself and Lukaku were on the same. We're on the same WhatsApp group. And so they didn't come out to defend him. It was just he's moving here, he's moving there. So he eventually decided that he was going to force his move and go to Inter Milan. And so people coming out to say, oh, he was the one that was trying to leak out secrets that were happening in the Manchester United camp or activities that are happening in Manchester United camp just to force a move. He's saying it's not me. So if you pull,
It's not him.
it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
So you guys check yourself, check your email addresses,
Mhm.
and let me know because it didn't come off my end.
So let me ask you a question. Maybe Brutalistics will answer or Tega. Can you give a suggestion as who you think could have leaked it?
I was about to ask the question, like, okay, where were he when they were leaking the leak?
He was in his village. But what I can say, what I would say is that sometimes it do happen with clubs.
Yeah.
So I do remember when Jose Mourinho was there, and they're saying that one of my colleagues abroad was saying that you speak to the woman selling coffee in the area, the woman doing this, that everybody's talking. So yes, sometimes people around the club leak stuff.
All right.
And but for me, for the club, what I expect a club to do for their player is stand in support.
Standing support.
The
Even
way-
if you want to sell him eventually.
The way they did with a certain Paul Pogba.
Just
Just
stand in support.
when you put it side by side,
Yeah.
the robustness with which the club came out to speak about rumors and things like that, it was absolute silence, and that's not nice.
All right. So I knew that Arsenal fans were going to come for you, Brutalistics.
Yes.
So we have so many of them. So Genduzi will be shocked with only Russia and Marshall available. United will soon know that half fit Rome is better than Rashford and Marshall. So the Arsenal
That's from Shagun.
yeah, that's from Shagun. And then Big If okay, I'm trying to get to the people, but let me get to the comment and then let me get to the story. Yeah, so Chris says Arsenal will still chop them this weekend. They can't dodge it. I beg any of Barca to leave relegation zone this weekend.
They're facing Real Betis.
Biggie from Katie says Arsenal will put a good fight, a new game, a new team, and they will work together by fire by force.
And they might
draw.
still lose.
That's the end.
But he's
Okay.
predicting the draw. So I'm giving them the bullets for the game and for the goals.
I'll pray, Biggie. I'll pray for Arsenal.
Yes, we
All
will
right.
pray.
All right, let's go on to what's happening at Juventus. We have this one here, Maurizio Sarri. Juventus boss to miss Napoli and Parma games 2-1 about this last
Yes.
time. So Sarri will miss Juventus's first 2 Serie A games of the season against Parma and his former club Napoli as he recovers from pneumonia. A statement from the club read, Maurizio Sarri underwent further medical tests today, which showed a good clinical cause. Now, to get a complete recovery from the pneumonia that hit him in the past few days, the coach will not sit on the bench during the first 2 Serie A games.
Which was pretty much what I said.
yeah.
Look, stay away, rest, and get your treatment and rehabilitation right. It's 2 games. He can still manage affairs without necessarily being on the
the
sidelines,
bench,
which can be quite stressful and negates any progress he's making from recovery. I can understand that maybe from an emotional
I
side,
was
he would
gonna
have liked to
say,
he would have liked to be there when they take on Napoli
yeah.
for all the standard proper welcome and things like that. But look, health first, life and football next.
Live
It
to
shouldn't be
fight
the other way,
Napoli another
another
day.
day. That would
Okay.
it's smart that way.
All right.
David Alaba became the latest Bayern Munich star to urge the club to ramp up the activity in the transfer market and also cast doubt upon his own future. Ahead of Bayern's German league opener against Hertha Berlin on Friday, Austrian international Alaba said Bayern needed to sign one or two more players before the transfer window closes on the 2nd of September.
Okay, so this about teams now pushing for players. So the likes of Iron Robin left, Frank Ribery left, and even before they left, they were supposed to be replacement for legs. And it is such a thing that Bayern Munich could go about their business without any stress, silently buy the players that they need, and you just come in and see a full squad. But this transfer window wasn't, for some reason, they weren't even very active in the transfer window. And after playing their first match and they drew 1-1, this season is already, and Borussia Dortmund won their match. The season is already looking tough. Yes, I know last season it looked like Bayern Munich were going to suffer and eventually came back during the season and won the Bundesliga. But what it is that what it is at the end of the day is that the players now are calling, and it's not just him. Manuel Neuer had called for it earlier. Thomas Müller had called for it earlier. You know that there is a problem when Thomas Müller is looking for somebody to replace him because he doesn't like to live anywhere. And so when these players are now calling out and saying we need more legs, we need more people, there are competitions, we want to win, and we need a new infusion of players, then you know that there is a problem. So I'm sure the club is listening to them. They have Coutinho on a season-long loan. They have what's his face now from Inter Milan, Perisic. So but
On
what
loan, isn't
on
it?
loan
It's
too?
just odd
Yes.
for
So
Bayern Munich to
so
be doing loan deals of this sort of
do you understand?
caliber
So,
and
but
stuff.
but they have, at least they have makeshifts. What the players really want to see is, I think a lot of them would have been excited if Bayern Munich would have been able to get a player like Leroy Sané
Okay.
early. Those are the young guys that you want to see come into the team, and you know that okay, there is hope for it. But unfortunately, they haven't seen that. So once the players start crying out like this, before you know it, if you start seeing bad results, you can't complain too much.
So a part of me feels that there's some sort of either recruitment divide or there's a lack of trust with the current Kiniko Kovac within the hierarchy,
Oh yes,
which seems to be creating
yes.
this a problem.
It's not just so the players, especially when Niko Kovac came, watching him from the outside in, they expected him to do a few things differently, bring different results. But he came to Bayern Munich with the team he was, and they're still defensively fragile, especially against the rest of Europe. And again, they haven't gotten a playing style that they'll bring results. It seemed that at the end of quality of the players on the pitch as opposed to the tactics of the manager in the back room. And so the players on their own don't even trust him. And then and you know it is footballers that are sitting on the board of Bayern Munich,
Exactly.
which is different from other people that is business. It's footballers, people that have played the game.
Yeah.
And so they're watching him and saying this guy doesn't know what he's doing. So yeah.
In reply to, what I was warning you for.
Yeah, that was the comment.
Exactly. Benga Kamo says, brutalities, calm down. Arsenal will lose now. But MI thinks differently. MI says, I would say the choice of the minister, first of all, was spot on, but that would be tongue in cheek. For some reason, I believe we have the Arsenal to defeat Liverpool. Remember these words, Tega. That's what MI says.
Hey. And someone's hoping that you'll be here on Monday when they come and talk about this match and tell you how Arsenal defeated Liverpool.
Look, if Arsenal contrives to beat Liverpool, I will be happier than most of you.
Oh,
I assure you of that. But when you look at the past trends of Arsenal's performances at Anfield, it doesn't bode well.
Don't
Either
worry.
under
We'll Skype him if he
Arsene
can't make
or-
it.
We'll Skype him.
Yes,
We'll
I mean,
him.
Skype me.
But people, in case you want to, just chat with him during the match, follow him at Brutalistics on Twitter and at Tega Supreme on Twitter. Follow her work with Ladies in Sports at LIS International. Ladies and gentlemen, at 9 o'clock, we'll present to you Lagos Sox 981 special, a feel-good Friday edition. Stay close to your phones and your messages.
guys.
So you see, we did a preparation and we came on there and we didn't use it. But it's residual knowledge.
It's a listing. All the